thank you all for having me here today, and Chamber President Audrey Butler, Executive Director Christine Deeker, board members, and members of our community. I can't begin to express how deeply humbled and thankful I am to be able to serve you as your new mayor. This has been an amazing journey, the last 8 years on council and now as mayor, to see how Keizer has grown up, the kind of community that we are and are continuing to become. And I got to tell you that from beginning to end, from the start of the city and long into the future, there are certain things that make Keizer the kind of community we are so proud to call home. It's one week in, and I already have plenty to share to you today about the state of our city. And a celebration of who and what we are, what we love about this place, and what we are doing to make it even better. Now, when people ask me what I was going to say today, I could say, well, the state of the city, we're great. Thank you very much. But this is a group that likes details. You want to know a little bit more about what's going on in our community, and I'm more than happy to share. When people move to Keizer, I hear time and time again, they feel like they've moved home. When a business opens here, they say, I've never been in a community like this, where I just felt so at home and welcome. That's all of you. That's our chamber, that's our community, that's our city, our employees, our neighborhoods. It all says, welcome home. Our city mission is to keep city government costs and services to a minimum by providing city services to the community in a coordinated, efficient, and least cost fashion. That mission is at the top of every one of our agendas because we never want to lose sight of what we're about. Other cities do things differently, but we do things in a way that embodies our motto of pride, spirit, and volunteerism. That's not just a motto, folks. You and I and all of our neighbors, we live it every single day. It works because you and I have decided that we are all in. When it comes to Keizer, you're all in. We show up. We show up at meetings, celebrations. You have a town hall. We show up. We have a community project. We show up. And by the way, keep that in mind as we talk about the big toy. We rake up leaves. We clean up the community center. We work at our parks. We coach our kids' teams. When it comes to making Keizer a community, we're all in. So the state of our city is that our city works. Together, you and I are committed, and we're working to make sure that it does. So I want to discuss 4 areas today that highlight the state of our city and where we are and where we're going. And I want to start with our biggest department that's funded by our general fund, and that's our police. As all of you know, I believe we have a police chief that's been with us a couple of years, coming up on, and that's John Teague. The vast majority of our general fund goes to fund our police department. And under his skilled leadership, Chief Teague has embraced our charge to be efficient and effective and use our resources to get results. So you are going to continue to hear a lot about problem-oriented policing, or POP. Now, we're all familiar with community-oriented policing. That's where we all get involved. We all take time and we get involved with our policing. We take care of our community, report things that are out of place. Well, community-oriented policing is a part of problem-oriented policing. To quote our chief, problem-oriented policing, or POP, done right, is the identification and fixing of root problems of crime and disorder. However, done right, it also needs to be assessed via the outcome of public safety, real and perceived, not assessed with numbers. So what does that mean? It means that we don't just respond to a call and jump on to the next thing. We don't send somebody out there to put a Band-Aid on and take off when actually there's a broken arm, so to speak. We don't try to assess our safety based on arrests or based on citations issued. Because quite frankly, that's not the root of feeling safe. The root of feeling safe is knowing that my neighborhood is secure. The root of feeling safe is knowing that problems are being taken care of efficiently and effectively. And we solve our crimes, we avert crises, and we fully complete cases that come before our police and our community. So the upfront investment of time and resources paid huge dividends in reduced crime, improved quality of life, in our neighborhoods and our business areas, and long-term, we reduce the workload of our police on certain recurring cases so we can address the problems that are coming up in the future. Sounds like efficient and effective to me. Chief Teague and the Budget Committee identified positions that need to be funded, and we have moved forward with that. Right up there at the top, code enforcement, yes, and a forensics, a computer forensics specialist. Why these two, we asked him. Code enforcement, well, we all know about the broken window. We want things maintained. What does that say about our businesses? If somebody's really messing up next door, what does that do for the front of your business? Not much. And that's not okay. We want to make sure that code enforcement makes sure we are all living under the same rules to maintain the beauty of our community that we can be proud of. The computer forensics, name a person in this room who isn't attached right now electronically to the world. Well, I don't see any hands going up. Well, criminals also use the computer forensics. We're all familiar with all the great crime shows, but quite frankly, that's a reality. And our chief identified that having somebody who is skilled in that area is going to, first, be more effective in solving crimes, preventing crime, and release our detectives from some of the work of investigation where they can be bringing in more evidence, and this person can focus on that work. And hiring that position is underway. The Budget Committee said, great, love all that, but we want somebody on top. So the charge was given to the city manager, if at all possible, to fund a person to return to the traffic safety unit. Well, we're not going to hire somebody we don't know that we can keep them. That's not a good use of our money. It takes $100,000 to get a cop on the road. It's expensive. Training, equipment, the setup. It's not a cheap undertaking. And that wouldn't be very effective with our funds. However, sustainable funds were identified, and the hiring for that position is underway. Yes, I'm getting a nod from the city manager in the back. So our shift to staff the community response unit has enabled us to be effective with problem-oriented policing. It takes persistence. Some landlords, they don't live here, they don't care. Fine, whatever, there's a squatter in that house, no big deal. I'm still getting my money, I'm okay. Not okay for us. So our community response unit is persistent. They stay on it. Kind of like a flea on a dog. Well, finally gets scratched. And the good news is they solve the problem. Your neighborhood is safer because they're going to stay on it until it gets fixed and resolved. Not swept under the rug, not ignored, but actually solved. According to the chief, research is pretty clear that most crime does not displace from a problem-oriented policing. I'm really bad about using acronyms. But actually, it causes the crime to stop. That's what we want. Solving problems. If you ask the chief or any of our officers for examples, they can tell you all day long how this is working. And that's what we want from our police. A couple of examples, and this is a great example of our partnership with other agencies. Out-of-school youth and chronic absenteeism is a huge problem in the state of Oregon with our youth. And the state education system, the Oregon Department of Education and the Oregon Education Investment Board are grappling with how do we solve the problem of chronic absenteeism. Salem Keizer School District is already ahead of the curve. According to the stats I got, last year, 931 out of the 6,000-ish Keizer students have less than 90% attendance, and that's the definition of chronic absenteeism. 125, less than 70% of the time of school. Well, what are they doing with that other 30%? I'm here to tell you, probably not up to any good. Many of the 125 were children of parents who needed help getting their children to school. So, partnering with the City of Keizer, we updated our truancy ordinance to allow our police to get involved, working with the Salem Keizer School District on the language and programs to be able to engage with those families where the student is the problem or parent lack of diligence in getting those kids out the door is the problem. They are making great headway in re-engaging our youth because I'd rather have them in school. First of all, they're not causing trouble, but more importantly, they're moving toward graduation. They're moving toward college and career readiness and to take their place in our community as strong community members. That's partnership, that's problem solving, and that's getting it done for Keizer. A second example of how we are partnering is with mental health. We've heard many, many cases across the nation and here in our own state where police interactions with folks who are in mental health crises or have issues have not gone well. Marion County Sheriffs and Keizer Police are among agencies that are already ahead of that curve in training, in experience, and in resources to make sure that if they are helping a person who is in crisis, they can bring the appropriate people, the appropriate response to solve the problem and get those folks where they need to be for their safety, their family safety, and our community safety. That's proactive, that's partnership, and that's getting it done for Keizer. Some of our partners in that, Marion County Public Health, the Marion County Reentry Initiative, and I could talk to you all day about how great that program is. The Dignity Resource Center, Salem Leadership Foundation, and other community partners are coming together to make sure that all members of our community are safe and have the resources they need to be successful. Are we there yet? No. We're still identifying problems, and here's where we all come in. Remember I talked about community-oriented policing? We need to be engaged. We need to be involved and know that if something is going on in my neighborhood, I can talk to our police and let them know that something is going to happen and it's going to get solved. So when it comes to policing, it's not just them and us, it's all of us, and we all have to be all in. Another area where our community is all in is parks. Everybody loves our parks in Keizer. We've gone up to 19 parks now, hundreds of acres from little community parks to wonderful Keizer Rapids Park. Big toys in 8 of our parks, and so much more. It's part of what makes Keizer that livable community that we love. We can take our kids and our grandkids, our dogs, our granddogs in my case, down to the park, and they can run and play. It makes our community healthy and vibrant. So what have we accomplished recently? We brought the 28 acres out at Keizer Rapids Park into our urban growth boundary, into the city limits. It's the master plan. We can go ahead with some of the projects that we've got planned for it. And I want to thank some of our community partners in that planning. A lot of people were involved. Your voice was heard. It's made a difference, and I'm very thankful that all of you have participated in planning for our parks. We also have a new Parks Matching Grant Program. This is a program brought to us by our Parks Board and said, we want to leverage the volunteers in our community. Well, that resonates with me. And what we were able to create, our Parks Board created under the leadership of now Councilor Brandon Smith, is a matching grant program. If you have a project you want to do in your community park, put a grant application together, bring it to our Parks Board, and if it's approved, they will help match the funds so we can get more projects done in more of our parks throughout our community. That's efficient, and that's being all in. Sustainability is a very key part of our park system. We have so many tremendous volunteers that we've begun to count on. Well, I don't have to do that. I know Clint's going to do it. Well, I know the folks out at the Little League, they're going to take care of stuff. I know that the neighbors to Sunset Park, like Daryl Richardson, I don't have to worry about it, it's taken care of. Well, that's true now. But quite frankly, as much as we like to think we're going to be here forever, I don't think we are. So I think it's important that we know what is being done so we can engage more volunteers, new folks coming to our area, and get involved with our parks so they too can be connected and the maintenance and the enjoyment of our parks can be sustainable. This is something that the Parks Board is important to engage more folks there. And we need to know if you're going to volunteer, let's make sure that we have a handle on that so we know what it's going to take to keep our parks the beautiful, safe, enjoyable family places that they are. And here's another place where you can be all in. Has anybody heard about the Keizer Big Toy? Yes, indeed. It's coming. It's going to be here. The build is June 10th through the 14th. We have a beautiful new website. Okay, write this down. www.keizerBigToy.org. Anything you want to know about that Big Toy project, it's there. It's a great website. You can donate. You can volunteer, you can find out what amenities are going to be there. If you have resources to bring in for that project, Chair Mayor Marlene Quinn, would you please raise your hand? Anything big toy, go see Marlene. She knows what's going on. We've got great volunteers, we've got great community partners. We want to get this thing built. Grab your kids, grab your neighbors, sign up. It is going to be the place to be, June 10th through the 14th, as we come together and build this fantastic play place for our kids, our grandkids, for our community and our region to enjoy our wonderful park right here in Keizer. And quite frankly, I couldn't be prouder to be part of a community that wants to do something like this, that makes a difference for everybody. www.keizerBigToy.org. Said it twice. That way people will remember. Or do you have to say it 3 times? Three times.
20.
KeizerBigToy.org. Okay, we're going to remember that now. Donations, fundraisers, we've got so much going on. Our school children, they're excited. So we're going to make this happen. So we've talked about policing, we talked about parks, so I want to talk a little bit about prosperity. Keizer has come through the Great Recession in fine form. And if I was to summarize the state of our city, we are really starting to boom. We've got so much going on. Keizer Station, River Road, we've seen new development there, businesses coming, and we are poised to do even more. What have we been doing? We've got businesses that Panera and Outback have been more successful than they had originally anticipated. As a matter of fact, I don't know if you know this, but the week that Panera opened, they were so maxed out in their parking, they immediately turned around, came to the city and said, we need more space. That's a great problem to have. But that's the kind of community we are. We are open for business, as the Chamber is always ready to point out, and we are welcoming to our businesses to be a part of our community, not just as a business paying paychecks, but as a community engaged with our businesses. Keizer Permanente and Silverton Health, what tremendous adds to our community. These are the kinds of medical facilities that we've been seeking and that Mayor Lori Christopher made it an absolute objective of hers to recruit and to bring in medical facilities into Keizer. Mission underway. We are still open for more. We have REI, Marshalls, Carhartt. We've got under construction, Gustav's. Is everybody excited about that one? Yes. We've got Maurice's and Chipotle Grill. We've got other businesses looking out at Area A. And that's just Area A, folks. We got B, C, and D. They are also going to develop. We've got more coming for Keizer, more jobs, more sustainable economy, and not just out of Keizer Station. River Road, Silverton Health is over at Stats Lake. We've got Delaney Madison. I love the view from the patio, folks. Beautiful. We've got Dollar Tree. They've been just buzzing it out. That parking lot is full. We've got businesses wanting to be on River Road. Why? This is the place to do business. This is the place where you can be successful. And this is the place where you can engage with the community that cares about you. You've heard some about the Keizer Economic Development Commission, and this is separate from the very effective and important Chamber Economic. A couple of minutes telling you kind of what the difference is. The purpose of establishing an Economic Development Committee for the city was to dig into the plans that the city has already adopted and then advise the council on strategic investments that we can make that help business be successful and come to Keizer. We have the River Road Renaissance Plan. We have the Economic Opportunities Analysis. We have the Keizer Compass. These plans are rich with ideas, with vision, and with possibilities for our community in the land that we currently have. It also makes the case that we need more land and to expand our urban growth boundaries. We can't wait, however, to finish that process before we take care of the land we already have. So in my opinion, we need to do both, and that's where the commission comes in. I have charged the commission to take a very deep, hard look at the River Road Renaissance in particular, and the economic opportunities analysis in general, in the 5 business areas that we identified to be key to our economy: the back office, the sports, medical, educational, and I can't remember this one at the moment. Oh, professional corporate services. Chee-chee. To make sure that we target those businesses to come in, make sure we're ready to invite them in with facility, location, that they can be successful here. In looking at the economic opportunities, the Economic Development Commission, and I've got Anthony Williams is here, he's on the commission. 5 of the members of the commission do businesses or own businesses on River Road, and that was on purpose. We want to have a strong voice for our core to make sure that what we're bringing in is going to complement and enhance the business foundation that we have. As Keizer moves from being a bedroom community, which may have been the case years ago, to the independent, strong part of the economic region we call the Mid-Willamette Valley. What are some of the things we'll look at as well? The River Road Renaissance included the sidewalks and improvements we did, and I think it's right to go ahead, when funds come in, to go ahead and complete what we call the red zone. Certain areas identified on River Road redoing. The nice sidewalks and so forth that have made it very attractive. But I think more importantly, the commission will make recommendations on other projects and ways to engage businesses and property owners in particular in conversations about what's it going to take to be all in business for Keizer. Do you want to know what that's going to look like yet? No? But I'm part of the team that is going to bring that to us to make recommendations on good use of our resources. So the last thing I want to touch on today is participation. Part of being all in is that we live in a participatory democracy. We expect and we want people to be engaged meaningfully in our community. Some of the outreach that began last year during the campaign included Coffee with Kathy. Anybody who's been to my Facebook page has seen those. And it was an opportunity to come, let's have some coffee and conversation. I got to tell you, that charges me up. I have a notebook where I write down people's names, their idea, and the date. So when something happens, I can give credit where credit is due. Ideas that come out from the work that I'm going to do, it's not going to be all because, oh, there's no genius running around there. Yep, she got it all figured out. No. This is the culmination of great ideas from great people who really love Keizer. And I'm so privileged to be able to listen in on your vision and then bring it together in forming our actions and our next steps. Town halls. There's been interest expressed in doing a town hall specifically on policing, especially with what it costs to put a policeman on the road, but also about what we're doing with problem-oriented policing, which I just scratched the surface on today. The new website is coming. We are so excited to finally update that very old and war horse that we've been working with and make it modern and easy to use. We want to make sure that you have access to the best and most current information about what's going on in the city, because it's your city. We all need to know what's going on and be connected as much as possible. Volunteer Coordinating Committee. We have a lot of new folks on there, and part of the charge I've given my representative, Daisy Hickman, is recruit. Bring more people in to be involved in our committees. We rely on the committees to give us good information on issues that come before council. With those committees do the legwork, they do the homework. Their recommendations mean a lot, and we're going to listen very carefully to what they have to say when those recommendations come to council. Radio. I've been talking with Gator Gaynor at KYKN, and he's in the process of working with Mayor Peterson and me on putting together a talk radio weekly, eventually, to be able to call in and talk with the mayors, ask questions, and let's have a conversation about what matters to you. So that will be a new adventure, I got to tell you. And I'm looking forward to engaging with folks through that venue. Another thing that is very important to me is our youth council. This year we have 2 amazing young men serving us. One is a youth counselor and one is a liaison to our parks board. My goodness, These young men are leaders of the future, and I want to engage more of our young men and young women in our community, and especially in our city government. So I've been working with Jason Heimerdinger, he's the teacher and advisor for the the leadership class over at McNary High School, to engage more of our young people, have them sign on to be liaisons to our different committees, and then learn from them what they are learning. So this is the community they're going to live in the future. I want to know what they think now. And if you think they're just going to be asking for a soda pop and the drinking fountains, you've got them all wrong. These are thoughtful, insightful young people who, if they're asked, and they know that what they have to say is going to be taken seriously, they're going to bring their best selves, and they can blow your socks off. Speaking of our youth counselor, I got word yesterday. Ryan Edsel just got his appointment letter to Virginia Military Institute, VMI, and he will be attending there next fall. That's the caliber of youth in our community, and that's the kind of young people that we want to hear from. So I'm very, very excited for Ryan Edsel. In closing, I just want to let you know that Keizer works. Keizer works because we make it work. We are committed to making it work. We're all in. And I am so privileged to be able to serve you and work with you and alongside you in making this city the best place it can possibly be. Thank you very much.